How are companies complying with the FTC's recent requirement, second request, to produce an information systems diagram of every system a company uses? Company stores all physical and electronic. I'm not sure what the rest of the question is, but we get the gist of it. Kelly?
There are not a lot of fantastic data map tools out there that you can leverage. And so I think people's responses to this, it's very much going to be organization specific. There's not a diagram from the FTC that it requires you fill out. So it really is company specific as to how you're dealing with this. But the best way to start is by getting a handle on what are the systems that your company uses. And you can even just use a spreadsheet to be able to lay this out. But you've got to sit down with IT and understand the enterprise-wide systems, and then you've got to sit down with the individual business units. My suggestion to be really effective at this is to focus on the places where you're on the radar of that regulatory agency. So for purposes of, do I need to get into every single small application? It really depends on what it is that the regulatory agency wants from you. So high level stuff like Microsoft Teams using Slack, Microsoft Exchange Online email, what email system are you using? What's your ability to preserve information? How are you handling mobile devices? How are you handling text messages? But you've got so many business specific applications. The adoption of the cloud has meant that, unfortunately, I wouldn't say they've moved out of IT's purview, but I will say that business units fire up a new cloud-based application without talking to IT. And
you're kidding.
I know. It depends on your system, right? I mean, there's some people who are shaking their heads going, no way, we lock every single thing down and no one could ever sign up for anything. But we all know there are ways around that. And the IT people will admit that if you ask them to.
Yeah.
It really is about sitting down in your organization and determining what it is that you need to know to be able to tell these regulatory agencies, and then doing that on a case-by-case basis for your organization and an application-by-application basis, unfortunately.
There's someone who's indicated an interest in Casepoint's FOIA solution. I think maybe this question's for you.
Yeah, I have a little bit of information. The prevalence of FOIA requests has really accelerated lately, such that there's a massive backlog. And so Casepoint, who offers a wonderful end-to-end eDiscovery platform, has a Casepoint specific FOIA module right now that supports workflows for government agencies at the federal level to deal with this log of FOIA requests, ingest the information, confirm that the data requested is appropriately tagged and flagged for redaction if needed, and ultimately provided to the requester. And so it's a seamless, integrated workflow that's live right now for federal customers. And ultimately, I think they're going to add the same functionality for state practitioners as well. And I think some universities also have to comply with these. So if you need more information about that, definitely check out Casepoint's FOIA module, and they'll have some helpful guidance there. So the next question relates to your LinkedIn profile, which happens to be one of the more interesting ones in legal tech. And I did note it includes the phrase that you're blunt and brutally honest. Tell us an example of that.
Oh, wow. You might be better to ask other people for those. But yes, I will tell you that's not going to work, or I think that's a bad idea, or I am very direct and to the point in pretty much all of my commentary. And you could probably see that on the case of the week every week. So that might be good examples of that. But short of that, you probably have to ask people that work with me to get those examples.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah. So sticking with LinkedIn, I know that you have 11 specialties listed, all of which are relevant and critical to success. Tell me the most important thing legal professionals need to know today about from your perspective.
I would say you need to understand what you don't know. So know what you don't know, listen and learn. There's so much happening in the legal world that historically we've focused on what we have in front of us and what we're doing. And the constant barrage of new things that are happening mean that you've really got to be learning and listening as to what's taking place at the same time that you're focused on what you're doing. And it's hard. It's added a lot of complexity to what lawyers are responsible for today. But that's what I think. We got to keep listening. We got to keep learning and understand what we don't know and go out and learn it, or find somebody who does know it.
That's wonderful.